So today I'm going to be taking this letter G and my friend's name, and I'm going to be placing it on this clear clipboard. I am excited because I have been wanting to do this for a while, and I finally found a clipboard so that I can get it done. I am really excited for her because she graduates this year with her master's in social work. So I wanted to make sure I did something for her that she would really like. All right, so hold tight. I'm going to cut this with the Cricut. Now that it has been cut, I used the maker, the Cricut maker, to cut it. I'm going to remove it from the mat. This is Cricut permanent vinyl, and this is Oracle 651, which is also permanent vinyl. And I used the standard grip mat, which is the green one. If you can see here, it did cut really nicely. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to trim around it and then go ahead and weed it out. Now what I'm going to do, since it has been cut and weeded, I'm going to use transfer tape to transfer this onto the clipboard. I'll be using Craftopia transfer tape, which is my favorite. Now that I have sized the transfer tape for the decal, I'm going to trim around. I don't really need all this extra stuff, and it just gets in the way sometimes. So I'm going to trim this off. And I always save it, never know what I'm going to need it for. It's not that bad. I'm going to do the same thing with this part. I'm going to line it up from edge to edge and then cut off the excess part. So I have cut this down so that it's just about right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move this out of the way first. I'm going to peel this back. And I try to use the lines on here as a guide so that I can ensure that everything stays straight when I place it on whatever surface I'm putting it on. So I'm going to line it up. I didn't do the best job lining it up. I was really trying. I'm just gonna wing it with this. All right, so I also want you to make sure that you use your scraper when you do this, and I try to go from the middle out. This ensures that I push out any of possible air bubbles and make sure that this adheres to the transfer tape properly, and to ensure that it is released from the backing of the vinyl backing. I make sure I also varnish the back. Okay, so now that that has been done, you can separate it, and you see how easily that came off. Totally awesome. All right, we're gonna set that to the side. Next, I have the big G. Doesn't look like General Mills G. All right, so same thing, just gonna lay it flat and then just cover it. I try to keep it straight so I can use the lines as a guide, and sometimes it has a mind of its own. So I'm going to lift here, scrape, jam, and then to ensure that this stays straight, I'm going to lay the rest of it this way, ensuring that everything stays together. Oh, look, it's exactly right there. And again, you want to remember to also do the back. And what you're going to be removing is the backing from the vinyl. All right. And now that that is done, we are going to use this clear clipboard. And I want it to be centered, as centered as it can be. So again, making sure to use the scraper and come down to keep from having the air bubbles and to ensure it lays evenly. Okay. I don't see any air bubbles. I'm going to go from the bottom right hand corner, and you want to pull the transfer tape back at an angle. You want to do it slowly. That way, if anything happens, you accidentally pull up some vinyl, it doesn't get rolled over, and you don't have to scrap it and start all the way over, because it's a simple fix if you catch it before it's gotten jumbled. So not really too bad. Really super simple. You want to use two hands. One hand to pull and one hand to keep it steady. That way it doesn't move all over the place. Oh, wasn't that so satisfying? Alright, so that part is done. And now I have to lay her name. Oh geez, I'm cutting it really close here. I measured it, but I think when I made so initially I wanted it like right here. I think I made it too long. I probably should have made it a little shorter. But we're here now. So again, making sure that you go over it with your scraper to ensure that it adheres properly to the surface that you're applying it to. Decals can be kind of tricky sometimes, especially when you're layering vinyl on top of vinyl. You want to make sure that you varnish really well so that when you remove the transfer tape, it doesn't pull up this design that you're currently laying or the one that was previously laid. So again, starting at the corner, rolling slowly back. So still just make sure that you're pulling it back gently. Sometimes when you have I's or, you know, apostrophes, they can come up. So you just want to make sure that you're paying attention. Thankfully, this I, the dot did not come up. You also want to make sure that when you're using a script font or a cursive font that you weld it, because it allows for it to cut as one whole piece, which is what happened here. Everything is cut together because I welded it in Design Space. So almost done with this. Almost done. So there it is. This is what it looks like when it's complete. I want you to be able to see this. So this is what it looks like when it's completed. And it's straight. There's just stuff up under here. So I thank you guys for tuning in with me today. I hope that you catch my next video. Please make sure that you like and subscribe. I appreciate you all sticking with me throughout this tutorial. Have a good day. Bye.